Hey everyone, I'm Joe. Today I'm going to be doing the BookTube Real Talk tag. This tag was created by Alyssa J. I was not tagged to do this, but I saw Rachel, whose channel is called Kalinardi, do this. Her answers, along with the focus of the tag, got me curious and thinking about some rather interesting answers for it, hence why I'm sitting here now creating it. Now, the focus of this tag is a little bit different than many tags in that this is focusing almost entirely on the community side of BookTube, and in particular on the side that I interact with. This is how I think of BookTube and how I go about the sort of ideas side of things and the original sort of creation of my channel, which is quite a curious one because it's not something I've really ever talked about much before, other than a stray comment here or there, as the case may be. Anyway, there are 7 questions in total, and without further delay I'll get straight on to talking about the first question, and I'll be looking down at my notes to read the questions off. So the first question is, what's something nobody told you about BookTube before you started your channel? Now, my answer is going to sound sarcastic because that would be everything. I knew basically nothing about BookTube before I started my channel. I first encountered a BookTube video in the late summer of 2013, and then I created my first video at the end of January 2014. So it was less than 6 months after I first saw my first video that I actually became a part of the community, officially making videos, and I didn't really know what I was getting myself in for. Now, I have at that time no history of photography or indeed filming. I had never owned a camera before, ever. I had never done video editing before. I had never considered doing anything like this before, and indeed there had never been any kind of social media presence from me, and indeed no photo of me anywhere online ever before that first video. So this channel was basically me jumping in the deep end pretty heavily, because that is why that first video of mine, which I've linked before, I look terrified, and I do a fairly good impression of a deer in headlights because I don't really know what I'm doing exactly. I just know that I want to talk about books, and then I sat down many years ago. I was still in this room, I think, but I can't remember where I was sitting anymore, and I was sitting there very rigidly looking at the camera, and I was unable to look away because I was too nervous. Now I can casually sit down and just film, and it didn't bother me in the slightest. Frankly, I don't care that degree now. So it's changed in an interesting way, and would it have been useful if I'd known anything useful about the filming side of it? Honestly, not really, because I like the fact that I jumped in without knowing. It provided an interesting experience, personally. Now, the second question is, what is your opinion on typical BookTube videos? Those are things like wrap-ups, TBRs, hauls, etc. And I think for that, they are typical because they are very useful as a whole. Now, as you might have noticed if you watched my channel before, those are the major things that I like to do, obviously with reviews as well. And I think wrap-ups in particular are very useful to giving you an overview of what a particular person is going to do on their channel, in terms of what books they read, and probably more importantly how they talk about those books. Because for me, some of the people that I am subscribed to, I don't share very much in common with them in terms of what books we both read. Actually, there's a few people that I have basically no overlap with books at all to, but I still watch their videos, and I still quite enjoy their videos because their enthusiasm for books and the way they make the videos sound really interesting, but mainly because they are really interesting, I love, and that's what keeps me watching them. So it's interesting sometimes thinking about what you should put in a wrap up, because I like to do more wrap up. Some people do weekly, some people do alternative videos, but do what you make with what you think feels comfortable to you. If you want to do more wrap up, do so. This sounds like it's turning into an advice video. I have a suspicion it might do. Question 3 is, what is an assumption you had about BookTube before you joined, and was it proven to be correct or not? And for this, I'm going to give a very, very positive and optimistic answer, because it is me after all. Normally I'm optimistic and positive, and that is that there is going to be filled with varied, interesting people to talk about books with. And indeed, I'm still here 5 years later, so I have obviously found many interesting book people to talk to over the years. And basically just find people that you get on with and that you can understand, and just talk to people, and you'll find your way in BookTube, because I didn't know anybody when I first joined this community at all, and now I've met a group of people that I'm a little sort of circle of BookTube friends. I've met them in person, and I'll keep meeting them in person, and I just really enjoy myself more than ever before now. So, I'm overall very happy with the way things have gone. Anyway, on to question 4. What is something you've done that has actually helped you grow your audience? Now this one is quite tricky, because this sounds, to me, it's asking, name the one event or situation or idea that you had that helped sort of define your channel and that helped your channel growth. Yeah, that hasn't happened to me. My channel growth has been extremely slow, as you may notice. I mean, I still only have 1,200 subscribers at this point after 5.5 years, which is slow because by most people's standards, because nearly everybody that created channels at the same time on me that are still actively making videos, I've got a lot more subscribers than me, and nearly everybody that I'm subscribed to that are much newer than me also has a much larger subscriber count than me. So subscriber counts don't mean a lot, and say grow your channel. What does growth mean? I think growth means as a person, and as a person I definitely have, because my confidence in sitting down and doing these videos, as I've said previously, is now really good. I think I can casually sit down and start filming, and it doesn't really faze me in the slightest now. I barely need the same notes now. I've used the same way with notes that I've always done, but in the early days I needed to actually look at my notes all the time. Now I barely look at them at all. Frankly, if it wasn't for the fact I have to actually read the questions out because I can't memorise them, I would actually not need to look at the notes at all. So yes, it's confidence basically with me now, and it's still increasing over time, because I'm still an awkward English guy talking about an unusual selection of books. That's not going to change, frankly. Anyway, question 5 is, what is a common mistake you see new booktubers making, or one that you made? And this isn't exactly a mistake, it's more of a inherent drawback of BookTube itself that seems to put people off, and that is people thinking, well, two things. That is, one, they do not own enough books, and they do not have enough bookshelves. I happen to, but you do not need this. And that they do not read enough books per month to be able to make content. Again, I read at least 12 books every month, so that doesn't apply to me. But you do not need vast quantities of books or reading vast quantities of books a month. Yes, I do have them, but you don't need them. I think there is a minimum number of books you need to read a month. As such, I personally think it's either 3 or 4 books. Anything less than that, I think you might struggle to have enough varied content and enough books to talk about, personally. I mean, I could be mistaken, but it always seems like most people that have BookTube channels generally read about 3 or 4 at least, and that's all you need to read. 3 books a month. That's 1 book every 10 days. And that's it. That will give you enough content to talk about and enough ideas, frankly, and then you'll find your own circle of BookTube friends, and things will work out, most likely. And if they don't, at least you tried. You can always try. You can't be blamed for trying. You can't be blamed for saying, oh no, everything's going to be terrible and not bothering. But at least you've tried, and then you can be happy that that's happened, which I am, and it's worked out extremely well for me. Question 6 is, what are your thoughts on working with publishers and sponsorships? Now for this one is one that does not apply for me. It will never apply to me, because frankly my channel is very small. It will never be a big channel ever. I'm quite confident of this, and I'm not bothered in the slightest by this because I'm having fun doing it, so I don't need a big channel or such. But if you have the opportunity to work with publishers and it doesn't sacrifice your integrity as a person, you know, you're not going to radically start saying that you love books that you previously would have really slated and really hammered badly, then fine. If you start having to sort of essentially lie to the camera and therefore people watching, then stop, because you're doing something wrong. I would not change what I'm saying in a video for anybody and give a damn how much money they pay me or what incentives they offer. I'm going to say exactly what I think to you, and that's not going to change under any circumstances. So anything that does do that or might risk doing it, then I would say avoid badly, because you don't want to be that person that nobody trusts. Trust is the one thing you cannot buy. You have to earn trust, and you can only lose it once. Once you lose it, that's it. I haven't lost it yet. I'm not planning to. Question 7 is, do you think BookTube is dying? And no, I don't. Now this is a question that you hear occasionally people saying, although my personal sort of circle and area of BookTube is one that I never hear this term, and indeed this question being asked, because it seems to me stupid. It's like, how can you say BookTube is dying just because it might not be evolving, it might not be growing at the same rate it once did 3 or 4 years ago, which was quite fast at the time. There seemed to be an awful lot of new channels at one point. Now it seems to be slightly less growth, but I think it's reached more of a sort of peak level as far as BookTube goes. You know, you can have an oversaturation of anything. I think BookTube has reached that point where it's got a good level of variety and people talking about books. So it's not dying, it's just not having that fast growth where it's spreading out and covering every genre. It now covers every genre basically in every subject, and now it's just more like fine tuning and making it more efficient, I suppose you could say, rather than actual growth. It's not making it new models, it's just improvement, not growth, which some people might be dying, but it's not. It's just change happens, live with it basically, or don't, you know. And if not, you know, walk away from BookTube if it's not doing what you want. Anyway, with that said, that is it for this video. I think this has provided some interesting questions. I don't normally talk about these subjects, but I do find them quite interesting. This video has also turned into a sort of semi mild advice video as well, which is also strange for me to do because I don't normally talk about these subjects. If you have any interesting answers to any of these questions, then please leave them in the comments and we can have a discussion. Or indeed, if you want to ask me to go into further depth on anything that I think on any of these questions, then again, please ask and, you know, we can have a talk. All my social media links, as well as the links to the 2 people mentioned at the start of the video, can be found in the description box below. With that said, that is it. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you another day. Bye for now.